and welcome to today's beer review, which I am dubbing the new desk beer review. As you can see by the fact that the alignment of my desk has changed, because it's a corner desk as opposed to a coffee table that I set my computer up on. A raised coffee table with two cardboard boxes that I set my computer up on. Yeah, so I'm slightly less ghetto right now. You can kind of go and amaze at how many books I have. I have literally ridiculous amounts of books. I have hoarding tendencies, as you might gather. Slightly. So, Hurricane was just last week, so obviously I didn't record anything because I was too busy prepping for it. But what are we going to be reviewing today? Well, we're going to be reviewing Maui Brewing's summer limited release, and that is the Lilikoi Saison. This is the farmhouse style one because it is quite tart. The description says, tart Saison brewed with Amarillo hops and passion fruit. Okay, sounds pretty good. This is 5.5 ABV. And not too many reviews on it because it only came out last month, so I guess fresh. And ironically, I think I'm going to be reviewing the spring limited release next. But that's okay. It's a lager, so it'll probably be good after a few months. So, well, enough yammering. Let's go and get this into our Belgian tulip here. This new lighting, while allowing for much more detail and much nicer, does not do wonders for my complexion, I have to say. Tart and citrusy from here even. You can really smell it. Cloudy golden yellow with a fizzy to frothy head, and I gotta remember to turn this way because my mic's in this direction now. The sort of chalky minerality, ripe lilikoi fruit, orange juice, Lilikoi orange, but sharp. Lilikoi orange is something that usually has a very cloying smell to it, and yes, I know what Lilikoi orange juice is because all different sorts of tropical juice combos are for sale here in Hawaii. Passion orange being the most common, by the way. Or passion orange guava is maybe a little bit more common. But the minerality gives it a nice dryness to the nose, which I'm enjoying. Kind of dissipated very quickly, and it's carbonated as I would expect it to be, but still having visible bubbles moving up. A nice sour tartness and kicks in the mid to finish, and then just in the lasting finish, funk really kind of kicks in there, along with a lingering sort of acidic tartness on the tongue. That's almost like it's reminiscent of how like certain hops kind of hop bitterness kind of lingers on the tongue. This sort of tartness lingers on the tongue as well. Lilikoi is very present, and the more effervescent notes that you taste purely through your nose, almost none on the tongue. Quite dry. Just a hint of tropical fruit sweetness in the front. Mints are a bit harder to suss out here. If I could say what the malts are like, there's almost like a sour bread note, you know, because of the tartness, but it seems to play well with the maltiness as well. So you kind of come across with like a slight sour bread note, sort of showing up in the front to mids. I think I might need to let this warm up just a bit, you know, have the flavors open up a bit more, kind of cold and closed up on the palate right now. So it warms up a bit. Funk gets more apparent. It's quite a nice funkiness. Not too overly sharp. Plays well with that tartness and sourness in the finish as well. Despite there not being as well, actually, now that I notice it, there actually is quite a bit of carbonation. There's a bit of carbonation bite in the front. I wouldn't say it's light per se. There's a definite, I'm not going to say heaviness, but a presence in the mid to finish. So it's not as refreshing as other sours, you know. It just, like I said, the fact that I can sense malts, you know, I have a strong sense of malts and something that has such strong tartness to it, kind of supposes a certain weight to it, gravity, I suppose. It's refreshing, though, but not really, like, it's not a goza, it definitely trends toward the heavier side of farmhouse kettle brewed saisons. Excuse me. That said, that sort of presence helps counterbalance the tartness a bit and give it, you know, a lot of dimensionality that some sours sort of lack, I think. Yeah, it definitely is getting a bit more complex as it warms up. It's quite enjoyable. So, any negatives about it? Well, you don't really get much Lilikoi on the palate, just like a slight hint of sweetness. And it sort of subsides once it warms up a bit, too, in the more effervescent notes. Now, this is still something I highly recommend, and, well, it's not going to knock you out of the water like a traditionally brewed Saison, which would be months of, you know, lactobacilli brewing in a barrel. It's still pretty damn good for a kettle brewed sour. And, you know, worth you trying. I really want local brewers to really kind of try to push the, you know, really get into sours, which is probably a little bit difficult considering how much wild bacteria and yeast there is in Hawaii. You probably have to go and really go and decontaminate before and after you go and do a batch of this. But still, you know, really start exploring sours a bit, because I love sours, and I would love to see, you know, a farmhouse, a true farmhouse saison done here in Hawaii. I wonder if it's even possible. Well, it wouldn't be a true traditional one, because, you know, you would have to have coolers to keep it below in the low 6, unless you went and built it like on the slopes of like the Big Island. Maybe you might be able to have something that's a little bit more naturally cool, but you get my drift here, you know what I mean? So, I'm going on to 10 minutes. Give this one a shot. It's pretty damn good beer, I have to say. Again, don't like sours, probably won't like this. If you're a newbie to sours, this is probably not the best introduction to it, because it's definitely on the tartar side. Is not an introductory sour, I would say, but definitely something to look at and give a shot. My Lilikoi Saison. That's your beer review for this week, folks. Cheers.